That's a mark. That's a mark. Yeah, it is, especially yes, when you're yeah, when you're
And yesterday, Nicole did. And nobody else was named. Well, I should say. Engineering was named. The Hamden Police Department.
I don't know the rules. I'll text him to say.
It was the same. So I called Public Works back and told them, this department would listen to me when they come out with some things. And Public Works.
Good evening. We will start in a couple of minutes. Right now, our meeting should be about committee members and over, and that all the taxes have been made, so we can officially start. Just give us about 2 minutes, and then we give us 5. And we will start gaining the
I saw you last night, but then you left.
I'm still awake, I'm looking at my phone.
I think it'd be easier for me to get it. See,
And then,
I didn't get students.
So Pete responded, I don't need my drugs, I was under the front.
They have a combination, they just open the doors.
He's gonna drop slide.
okay.
That's somebody else.
I can't lie to you. I don't know, I just wanted to get the connections done.
I'm hard, not doing anything wrong, always walk around my house.
I got a small son
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I'm gonna make you. She said it's like a
So that's.
oh, she's not. He did it.
Oh, it must be available then.
Thanks, Bob.
It's not there.
Alright, we will pass.
That's
Oh,
called,
that rules.
I believe that's called caribou what? I didn't buy it.
I'll see how it is.
Hold on, just make sure. I'm gonna send her the.
No, it's good. I don't know, I went to put milk in mine and the curdle, so I got to
That's what I'm saying.
I should drink it.
Yeah, okay, so then you get it kind of.
How is it? Is it pretty good, the coffee?
Yeah, no, it's.
Oh, well, I thought so.
I did recommend it.
But, yeah, no, it's last.
And so,
What time is it?
okay. Are you recommending over? Are you good to? You said it was a party. You got it.
Did they identify the correct number to hold retirement? Did they identify?
I should. His original order that I don't have on it either.
I can go back and look. They
Okay, Sarah.
answered it because we got tons of money in other meetings. I'm not sure what it's going to go up. Yeah, I mean, if you look here, police.
I'll see the ordinance.
Yeah, so they should be about 66 right about now. Yeah, they're just
Oh,
Yeah, well, they have 16 people that use, they have got some left. But my point I'm making is that, so there's items that they haven't spent, but spend your money.
this is kind of different. That's kind of.
Yeah, I understand.
I
Yes, sir.
No, right?
To get it here, right? So this is because we need that because the people are so there is surplus somewhere.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, so there's 66% reimbursement of your bumper.
So we don't pay them their salary in our budget or our workers' comp.
I think what time does it is they don't show the reimbursement.
They don't show the reimbursement.
Right.
That's a problem.
The bus name up.
Yeah, because that means that this 66% is not
And she doesn't.
there's a reimbursement. I like her, so. Same thing with the fire.
Yes.
Injury. They're going to pay them. You pay them, but they don't use it anymore.
And that's it, and that's the same.
It's for my back.
I'm sorry.
I guess it's the US.
Okay, you want me to do that next month?
I don't remember.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and, call the special finance committee. And we're also gonna, record, right?
Wait, can Sarah be able to hear now? Yes.
Can everybody around here?
Okay.
I'm getting a whole bunch of hands up, good, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and call the special finance committee meeting to order on this, wonderful cold and rainy Friday night, February 20th at 6 p.m. We're gonna start at 6:22. Pardon us for our tardiness. So we can call this meeting to order and have Ms. Bailey do our roll call. So we have Chair Alston, he's on the phone over here, we can see him. Vice Chair Caldwell. Here. Councilmember Stevens. Councilmember Figler.
Here.
Councilmember Hunt. Here. Councilmember Teodosio. Here. Councilmember Crouch. Councilmember Gallagher. Here. Councilmember Anthony.
Present.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Quorum. The next item of business is to have the pledge of allegiance from, Minority Leader, Anthony.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it
Thank you. The next item would be to invite the public to come to the podium and give public comment about tonight's meeting. Those who are in person, would you like to come up first, and then we'll go on to the folks. We'll just alternate back and forth between them. Come on up, ma'am.
Good evening, Kathy Mueller, 7th District.
Talking to the mic. Did you turn the mic on? The little red thing is not on yet. Hit the
Good
little button.
evening,
We gotta press the little person up when it's talking.
There you go. All right, there you go.
Kathy Mueller, 7th District. You should begin as you need to go forward. If you expect to demand paperwork ahead of time, questions answered completely, and a general preparedness from anyone standing before you requesting money, then you will receive it. And if still someone cannot come prepared, then table the item to another meeting. Demand and expect documents, preparedness, professionalism, and accountability. And in turn, you should be able to begin delivering on transparency. I would like to know why acting finance director took retro pay out of regular and overtime salaries and not the retro account. What is currently in the retro account? I want an actual fund balance, not just of today, but as of November 30th, 2025, December 31st, 2025, and January 31st, 2026. As we learned on February 9th at 10:15 p.m., a payroll clerk was doing payroll. Please explain why in these difficult times we are paying overtime and why this cannot occur during normal business hours. I want the council to receive monthly financials. Where's chapter 39? I also think it's past time to see the finance department's accounting of each department, year to date and actuals. And unfortunately, since the police department's regular and overtime salaries were withdrawn from incorrect account, it's time you saw each line item from each department. If you decide to fund the police regular and overtime salaries line items another way, then you need to move the $800,000 from the retro account out of the finance department and to the legislative council's E&C account. Remember, the council made cuts to the 24-25 and the 25-26 budget. Cuts. This does not mean these cuts are replaced with the fund balance. So why is Mr. Galarza showing these cuts as fund balance withdrawals? Cuts. That means you do without or come to the council asking to tap into the E&C. The E&C that the council set aside a percentage of just in case it was needed. Please explain the projected and actual fund balance withdrawals. 7 mil, 9 mil, the police regular and overtime. I never understood why ARPA money was used to cover salaries in our operating budget. Unfortunately, I am beginning to. It appears our money is moving around a lot, almost like a shell game that becomes impossible to keep track of. It's time you asked the hard questions and demanded the answers. For the most part so far, it's only been the public asking, except for a few select council people. Lastly, PO number 25004492. Even if the rumors are true and taxpayer funds were not used, but the rumored account was, there are still guidelines, oversight, and controls in place as to the correct usage. Why are you so afraid to ask questions and demand answers? Why are some of you so afraid to answer? For when you hide, bury your head in the sand, shrink away, and stop demanding accountability, you become as culpable as those who want you to remain forever silent. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments tonight. Is anybody online who wishes to give any public comment? If you would, you can raise your hand and we can move you to the canvassing. Anyone online? So I guess then we'll go to the next in-person public comment. Any other in-person public comment?
Good evening, everyone. For sure, District 2. Sorry that you guys are coming out on a night like tonight. Okay, so just wanted to ask you guys if anybody paid attention to the MFAC meeting that occurred this week. If you haven't, it's worth doing so. It's a regular treat at our household. And we end up watching the entire thing because we like to see if other towns are having the same situation that we are, or similar, or whatever. It's fun. I guess misery loves comedy. Anyways, there was an interesting thing there as we have watched the last, I think, 3 or 4 of them. The city of Minnesota has a brand new mayor. And that mayor came in and he brought with him, instead of a finance director, he hired an outside financial consultant to come in and go through the finance department and the finances of the town because he had some great concerns as to the way things were being done. I didn't do that lightly. A lot of people got very upset with it. If you Google that, you will find article after article after article that explains exactly what went on and the reasons for doing that. I just thought it was kind of interesting because I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. He went in, he saw there was an issue, and he felt it was the best way to deal with it, which in some cases it really is to just get a fresh pair of eyes on it. Someone who's not connected to the city in any way, hasn't held a job, on a council, commission, whatever, take a look at it. And that consultant pretty much took the brunt of the questions from the MFAC committee regarding Insomnia's audit, the audits, and how their finances were going and everything. Like I said, it's definitely worth watching. I know you guys have a lot going on, so it's not top on the list, but if you get a chance, it's certainly worth watching. I think it might, it's a good reflection, I think, on what maybe we need to be looking at doing at this point. So, other than that, I'm really excited. This finance is only tonight, and I can't wait to hear about our fund balance and our finances, just to see if we're on track with our budget and how well we're doing. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make public comment tonight? Anybody online or in person? Awesome. So we can go ahead and move on to number 5, which is our special agenda. So is there a motion on the floor to open item of order appropriating funds for fiscal year 25-26 fringe benefits, employee retirement cash out account for $650,000?
So motion, Vice Chair, before we move on.
Okay, sorry.
Pull it.
We're pulling it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chairman.
This item, and just for reference, the item,
Third turn.
The reason that we're pulling this item is voted on in the last council meeting, and it has the
went up to the council and last week at 600,000. And if you want to change it, we can do it on the floor at council.
The council, the name meeting. Okay. All right, so we'll call item number 1. So we'll move on to item number 2, which is to untable the order authorizing the interdepartmental transfer from 2025 to 26 fiscal year budget for the police department that was tabled on 2/9 for $400,000.
Motion. Second.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and open this up to the floor for discussion. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor of open this item number 2?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And no abstentions, right? Okay. All right. Let's open it up for discussion. I see any hands from any council members.
Right now, I know that Captain Diaz is trying to call in to speak to this item, so just give him a moment.
I think everybody here was given this printout. This is the, it looks like it's a year-to-date munis expense report. Sure, just raise your hand.
I feel like if people are able to go online and transfer, because there's no view of the whole room, so I'm getting messages from people if they don't see anything happening, like on the screen.
Do you want us to put this on this item on the screen, or?
No, I'm sorry, I mean like us as people, like when you look at the online view that everyone's seeing, they only see me and you. They don't, like there's no view of the room.
Oh,
So you can hear someone.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I was actually just saying that you guys online only see a couple of us, and you don't see half the view of the room, and I'm getting messages that that's disorienting, so I was just trying to see if you could fix that for us while we're waiting for a phone call, someone call in.
Okay, so, we're just waiting for the captain to do. Captain to do.
Yes. I'll ask you.
Let me see, if we can take this question from, I'm gonna go ahead and take this question from Councilwoman Gallagher, as I see her name, her hand raised.
Great, thanks so much. I know this item we tabled it because there was a question about the line of negotiation, because that is all there, so it has been resolved.
And that question was for Deputy Director Below.
Yeah, we're going to answer.
So everyone from the administration, you're gonna be able to answer that question for Councilwoman Gallagher? Is he on, is he coming?
Hello. Good evening.
Do you want to restate your question, Councilwoman Gallagher? I think now, Deputy Director Belarz is on.
Sure, we tabled this item because there was a question of why the money wasn't taken from the negotiation money, so I just wanted to hear how that issue was solved.
Sure. Thank you for the question. So we need to put a background on that, if you understand. I know it's something that actually person of other comments too, if the record is not, everyone, and I appreciate the opportunity to come publicly and to help companies to understand what's going on. What occurred was that on February 9th, we had a meeting with the council president, President Kyrie, Chief Ruben, town attorney, Mayor Fenwell, myself. We met in the mayor's conference room. We discussed the forecast, and we discussed the transfer that forecast was indicating that was coming to the council. At that time, under the direction of the council president, she recommended that we take the funding for all these four transfers from the account that the legislative council has under the contingency because, during the budget process, last fiscal year, it was determined that the legislative council put $2 million aside for reductions that were made in the operating department budget, so that if the need arose and the department had needed to come back and ask for additional funding, that funding would be in place, that the department can come forward and request it, proper justification for the need for those funds. So when we did the transfer to review them, I believe the transfers all have a signature, approving that house and still have control over that account. It's not our place to make recommendations out of the legislative council account. But she thought that was appropriate, and that's where it should come out of. And that's the way it was presented on Tuesday night meeting, first meeting. And when it got to the finance meeting Tuesday night, I think there was some discussion on the floor as to why, it didn't come out of the regular salary. And originally, we had that as always, that the capital was low usually. And we're also have the legislative council contractors who were all approved, all 8 of them were approved this fiscal year that we have to cover. And, the payroll and the retro active as far as the operating department, so we have to cover that. We have $800,000 to cover that in the finance department, with the actual true cost of $2 million. So $800,000 is only going to cover 40, and we're going to come back to council and ask for that additional funding probably at the next meeting. So the reason why, under the direction of the legislative council president, we're following their direction, and we thought we were doing the legislative council's way until we got to the meeting and discussion open. As far as finance is concerned, I really can't speak for the mayor's office, but I'm pretty sure he will support me. We will do it any way that the legislative council will like. Let's understand that we have several other challenges that we're also working on, that we have to meet throughout the budget, the legislative council's budget. So we don't have a preference. We just appreciate, reviewing this now so that we can keep the organization moving forward, and that there will be no issues with public safety, whether it's public works, police, fire, and that I appreciate last meeting's approval for the $600,000, because that is a contractual obligation that was passed by the legislative council, and we don't want to place any further liability on the town. So I don't know the long-winded, but sometimes the questions aren't very easy questions, but once again, we are here to.
So, can I just jump in? Has that $800,000 in negotiation line been completed at this point?
Yeah, yes, it's been completed under the direction of Councilman Austin.
Is that, excuse me, I want to cut you off, is that from the finance line item, because it's not being reflected in the finance on the website? The website showing that the $800,000 is still available.
The $800,000 is not available.
So it must have spent it between January 31st and now. Because as of January 31st, it's not, it's available.
I understand. It came up Tuesday, and also publicly on the record stated that $800,000 was not going to be enough to cover all the cash outs, and the reason why you don't see the withdrawal, Councilwoman, is because we were not done calculating all the records. The police was the last union that was settled for $700,000. All the other 70% was prior to police. Once the contracts are settled, then we have to go back and review the senior calculation. which was not done because of the fact that we pay out for January and you have to let them close. And it takes a couple of weeks to do a look back on the financial records of payroll to get the FEMA calculations that total $827,000.
So I want to just touch, can I just cut, I'm gonna cut it off a little bit, because you know, I just want to get to the answer.
With respect, I would like to have the opportunity to answer the question, and then I'm done, I'll be more than happy.
We're gonna do some backup, like you're throwing around a whole bunch of numbers, and I can't follow you.
I'm not, I can repeat my, I can go back.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Gallagher, I don't, we have a really, finite amount of time here tonight, and I just wanted to know if your question has been answered. Are you satisfied with that question, that answer? I know she's not feeling well. Councilwoman Gallagher, are you still there?
I am, yes, thank you, yes, okay.
You're good? Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions regarding this $400,000 interdepartmental transfer from the police for? Okay, so I just want to ask my own specific questions. Now, if you're saying that the $800,000, which is not showing on the January 31st expense report that's on the website, it's showing that that account has not been hit at all. So, but you just said that it's going to cost upwards about $2 million to do these interdepartmental transfers for these new contracts. Is that what you're saying? It will cost $2 million. So basically, the $800,000 that was budgeted was not enough for to cover the union contract changes that are going to be reflected on this contract. Is that correct?
Before answering those questions, please, repeat the question and I'll answer.
There's $800,000 available in the report that you posted on the town's website as of January 31st. It says that 100% of the $800,000 was available on January 31st. Today you're saying that there's there's $2 million worth of money that we have to come up with to satisfy the union renegotiations. So that $800,000 will not cover it, is what you're saying.
Correct.
So basically, we can't count on using this $800,000 for this $400,000 portion of it. Does this $400,000 is this included in that $2 million renegotiation? Is this, so after this is paid, we'd have like 1.6 million left in renegotiation that we'd have to pay?
So, are you going to go on the retirement side?
I'm just talking about item number 2, the order, the untable, the authorizing an interdepartmental transfer for the $400 for the police, $400,000 for the police department. Is that, where does that, is that coming from the renegotiation, or is that the overtime? I'm just curious as to what this $400,000 is. What is it for, and what is it coming from?
Okay, so the order, I think if I understand your question correctly, the $400,000 that this department is requesting for overtime will be coming out of the police department salary. Per the direction of the finance chair on Tuesday 19th. The reason why no one in town mentioned the $800,000 or even brought it up is because technically that money is not sufficient enough to handle the approved contract for all 8 unions in the town. So no one went and spoke about 800 because finance knew that that money was already accounted for. In addition, it was insufficient to fully fund all the contracts that were approved by the salary and all related expenses.
Is there a possibility that we could get a schedule of all of these things that are coming due?
I do, and So when we put together the forecast, we indicate.
Could we get that, or could the council get that?
Yes, the council received it, we received it in September. We sent 4 of them to the council. We've identified the prior years, we gave down to the fund balance. We also identified reductions to the fund balance. We indicate our financial position for fiscal year 24-25. We indicate all of the 6 or 7 transfers that were approved by council out of the fund balance that reduced the fund balance to that was in fiscal year 25-26.
Okay.
And this is explain the 25-26. It highlights all of the changes that we were coming to council with prior to actually coming to council for additional funding.
All right, thank you, Rick. I see the chairman's hand. I recognize Chairman Lawson. Go ahead.
Just for clarity,
Your mic is on.
For clarity, to Vice Chair's question, I think you were questioning, can we get a listing of all of the union items that are coming due for retroactive items, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think, the fund balance projection that you give us is a little bit at a higher level than that. Can you give us the 8 unions that you said that we have negotiated this year and have retro pays due to them?
Yes, I can do that. I was going to do that when I came to council for the actual transfer. So I will give you a transfer request. I will give you the 8 union value. I will give you the senior value. I will give you the grand total netted out the police and a portion of the supervisors, which will leave us the remaining balance of around $1.2 million. That will be my pleasure. The reason, just to clarify, the forecast is a estimate, an early vision as to what's coming, so there's no surprises to the council, so that, our position is disrespectful to the council. And we don't want to feel like we're running around and these things are an emergency. So, we do our diligence to give you a mentoring when we can. And I think we have, so we will continue doing that. And giving you the details is not a problem, but until we were done with our analysis, we could not provide that detail. And like I said, we wrapped up this week, because police got wrapped up this week, and we did the senior calculation, we did that every month, when the payroll was included. That's what we do on a monthly basis in the operational side of the finance department when it comes to payroll. So it'll be our pleasure. I will provide you each union, I will provide you union cost, I will provide you the senior's cost, I will show you what was in the account to begin with, and I will show you the net, which I am going to be requesting to the mayor's office for further dialogue with the council president or the finance chair. And then, I'm going to be looking for approval from the legislative council on the work that I want. So, yes.
Are you going to council?
For that part, yes.
Okay. You're going to come back? Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay, we have a question from Councilman Sebastian.
I have a question. The documents that you were referring to that you said you've been sending to the council, has anyone else received those? I have not.
No, we have not received anything. We received a fund balance analysis only. I've not received any
Mr. Lord, are you
projections.
sending them to just someone specifically or the entire committee?
You're asking a question.
No, I'm just asking you right now, the documents that, no, I don't, it's okay. The documents that you sent to the council, do you send them to the entire committee?
What are you, can you be a little more?
No, you just said that you've been sending documents to the council. You said that because you get them every month. Whatever you send every month, I don't know because I've never received them. Who are you sending those to every month?
Okay, so I send the fund balance.
That was one thing, one time.
If I may finish, I said, the forecast, which includes the fund balance analysis. And I sent, I think, 4 in September. I sent it to the mayor's office, I sent it to and I sent it to all council members. I sent it to the council president, I sent it to, and then I sent it to, department heads. So I can provide you every email that I sent to the legislative council with proof of receipt and proof of opening if you would like. That's not a problem on my end.
No, that's fine. I did receive your last one, and I thought it was something else. That's why I was just curious, because
Oh, my last one is what? I'm sorry. If you give me a little bit more specific, I sent a lot of information.
No, I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that I did receive the last fund balance that you sent, and as I was not, I was just actually, I'm agreeing with you, and I'm saying you're right. I'm saying that I was on the council from September, right? So maybe I
But
can get.
I was gonna state that you came on in December, so I
Yes.
sent September to Councilwoman Hunt's credit, she asked for that, and I'm just like that, when I send something to a council member, I send it to all 15. So anything that any council person asks me, I will try to send it to everyone. And so, we all need to be on the same page, and that's really, that's my management style. But I know, and I was gonna say that, I came on in December, so to be further clear to anyone that's watching, and I feel bad for you guys at times because I know the public asks questions. And if you feel that you're not in a position to answer, I'm telling you publicly tonight, you send them my way. I will help you guys answer any questions that you feel you can't answer. But just to clarify and not defend, this office, everything we do that you receive is on our website. Every forecast is on our website, every monthly report is on our website. So not only do we send it to the legislative council, we put it on our website, and I put that in my communication. It's also available to public, understanding, analysis. If people have questions, feel free to ask. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. My doors are always open.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. I think that, I really appreciate that we're speaking collaboratively and that we want to make sure we have the information we need. We definitely, when residents come to us, we don't want to be forwarding, obviously, those people to the department heads. That's inappropriate, and we want to make sure we can answer those questions. So that's why we're, trying to get this information. I think that from the council's perspective, absolutely, I do know that you post those things online. Sometimes maybe we don't know when those are updated, and there are other things, obviously, we've talked about this ad nauseam last year that are in the charter that we don't receive. So I think the sentiment is that we don't have all the information, we're not sure what we're missing, and I think we don't always feel that level of collaboration. I'd love to have that partnership with you moving forward. I know I can be a tough cookie. My goal is not to be difficult, is to get information, because obviously we're heading into a tough budget season, right? We have questions, so that's kind of where that came from. Like, for example, it would be great if you had been able to come here tonight, since you're next door, because it's, it would be great to have that level of collaboration.
Are you done? Councilman Chidos, you're done? Okay. Chairman Austin, your hand's raised.
Okay. Back to Councilman Majority Leader Gallagher's question about the transfer. Mr. Galarza, you've said that as of our conversation, you have encumbered the $800,000 that was set aside for contract negotiations for transfer of the police overtime.
Yes, per your direction at the last finance committee meeting, I was instructed to allocate the budget to the police department for the value of the contract, of the settled contract value. I've done that. That was around $735,000. That's why they are now able to make you can revise the transfer that originally was supposed to come out of the legislative council contingency account, and you can take it out of the regular salary line, which is 12401 or 110, and we are fine with that now.
And so to make sure we're all on the same page, transfer the 735 out of the 800, out of the finance department to the salary line, according to the which will allow them to absorb this $40,000.
Correct.
All right. So the question is, back to the table this.
Why do we have the 400,000?
Available in the salary line item now
It's my own personal opinion.
for this item. There's been conversation about other items that would come up for better results of contract negotiations. You understand that there's some overage there. You told us that it's about 1.2 million, but we only set aside 80. But right now, we're just dealing with this 4. That's going on.
Yes, I was just trying to bring that in front of you for discussion. I was really just trying to explain why we didn't go into
Just bring me the schedule of what you need all at once.
So,
What do you need? Where is it coming from? That's it. I don't need like every week we have this transfer, that transfer.
00110, which is changing on the floor, and that's police department regular salary to their overtime line, which is the same account. We'll be more than happy to, support, or we're fine with your legislative decision. If we can move that along to council for another review and for final vote, we would appreciate that.
So Chairman Austin, can you explain it to me? Can you explain it to me? Because I'm still not clear. Please explain it to me. Just tell me, what are we doing with the 400,000? I'm like, where is the 400,000 not coming out of the 800, or just, you can explain it to me.
The $800,000 that was in the finance department,
Mm-hmm.
735,000 was transferred to the police department salary.
Okay.
So this $400,000 that they're asking for will go hit against the salary line now.
Okay. All right. So we're asking to take it from overtime and pull it from salaries.
Move it from overtime, move it to salary.
Okay. Thank you. Can you explain to me the second half of it? Because I do hear that there's going to be more of these happening, and where we have to kind of figure out where those monies are going to come from.
There were a total of 8 contract negotiations that got settled outside of, in addition to the police department being amongst that.
Mm-hmm.
That total value of retro pay is about $1.2 million. That's what he's trying to say. Was it 1.2 or 1.4?
1.4, I think, yeah.
So 1.4. So obviously we didn't set enough aside.
Oh, he's talking, but his mic is off.
Your mic is off.
I'm sorry, I apologize. So out of it was 2,043,690. We took out the 800. That leaves a balance of $1,243,690 that will be on the next forecast, if you will, if these issues here get resolved. So I don't know timing of when we're going to go back, and get it on the council agenda. I'd like to do it as soon as possible, but at a minimum, it will be included in the finance department's forecast.
All right, so we're all clear. The total number was 2 million.
Right.
The number without the 800,000 that we've already set aside is 1.2.
Right, it's already moved.
So we have an additional 1.2 that's going to come to council for additional contract salary negotiations.
And that is going to be anticipated coming from the ENC.
Okay, if I can get a question.
I'm sorry.
At this point in time, we have to find it.
We have to find it.
I'm really sorry. There's a lot of talking, I have focus issues, I apologize. Just to make sure I'm clear. So the $2 million was, I'm sorry, I really can't focus. The $2 million is the total, and we are still waiting on the 1.4, or there's 1.4 in addition to the $2 million?
In addition.
There's the total
Total
is
is
2.
It's
two.
We've already set aside 8 in our original budget, so that leaves us with 1.2 to cover.
Got it, thank you.
Right, so,
We will have to find that within our budget, whether it's from E&C, cost savings from other areas.
right, and Deputy Director Galarza, do you have any idea of any of the other line items that you would be pulling that from? Do you have any recommendations from, or do we just get those recommendations from department heads?
You know, honestly, I would like to continue the collaboration that we had with the legislative council, where we all met. We had, my job is to make recommendations to the mayor. We will meet with the council president, and we will discuss options, you know, and then her process, without getting into, I was being out of order, you know, I understand that some council people are involved on it, but we don't really understand what goes on the legislative council side. But I think that, you know, that information should be brought back, in my humble opinion, back to the legislative council to have discussions so we can continue, you know, the favorable work alliance that we've had. This has been a little bit rough, but it's a good means, it's a good practice for what's coming up. Like, I agree with Councilwoman Philadelphia when she said that we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. So I will leave it there. My job, I will give the mayor a couple of options, my due diligence, and from a financial position, and let the mayor organize the legislative body, and then we'll present the council, and we'll go from there. But I do have options. You know, we are managing a lot. We have a lot of priorities that we're managing. And this evening, I will not provide my recommendations until I follow the process that we're trying to instill between the legislative council, the administration, and the finance department.
Okay, my next question is about item number 3. Is that this $490,000 from the fire department? I know we didn't open that yet, but I'm just curious, is that included in that $2 million number?
So I
I'm just saying, is it part of that whole renegotiation problem?
I know, I'm ready, you know, I know we're ready to move on, but if we want to close police and jump to items.
No, we don't need to close police. I'm sorry.
A quick answer would be no.
Okay, so a quick answer for that is just no, before we get there. I just wanted to know if that is included. No. Okay, so this $2 million is just for police? No.
The $2 million is for the whole.
8 different unions within the police department or just in general?
I understand.
Okay.
So it's for everyone except fire, because fire did not settle their contract.
Okay.
So fire, we did our due diligence with fire, and I wanted regardless of the direction that we got, we're willing to change gears for the sake of just getting it improved for public safety purposes. We're gonna take it out of salary to try to understand council's direction now that we've had a couple of bites at the apple, and we're okay with complying with the direction that council wants us to move forward. Now that we know, we have no problems with it. But originally, we made that recommendation, and through conversations and meetings, it was changed, and we're back to where we were at, and it's fine as long as we can move forward. So we will go to salary if that's what the legislative council prefers. We're fine with it.
Okay. I have Councilwoman Hunt has a question.
Thank you so much, Deputy Director Galarza. I do understand that Chair Alston asked you to provide us with this more concrete breakdown when you were talking about the forecast and the fact that what we've received thus far has been more high level. So going forward, the bites at the apple that you're referring to from a process standpoint has felt very haphazard, extremely haphazard. Piecemeal is really hard to follow. And so it seems that we have some sense of what's ahead with respect to these other contracts. Is it possible for you to provide us with a specific breakdown all at one time on one piece of paper for all of these different contracts so that we can see what the 1.2 million, how that's broken out, so that we can forecast for ourselves, not just the big number, but what each department requires. Is that something that you can pull together for us and make sure that that's what comes before us next?
So, yes, and the reason why we weren't dealing with, the council, the reason why we weren't dealing with the contract and the retro and the fringe benefits is we weren't done paying out the employees and doing all the calculations that need to take place once the contract gets approved. So that didn't come to council is because we weren't ready yet.
Mhm. But we're ready now? Would you say we're ready now?
We're ready now.
We're ready?
I would say as of today, we're ready.
Okay.
We're ready.
Indicated that we will be coming back with all the details that you need for the next, usually when we make up the forecast is high level. Hey,
Right, and in all due respect, Deputy Director, in the interest of time, and I understand what we have done, but we are trying to create a process now that is logical and one that everyone could follow. And so I understand how we may have done things or when we had pieces of information, but now it sounds like we have what we need in order to pull together this one document, right?
Yeah.
All the other stuff is noise. And so if we have the one document so that we know what we're dealing with, we can make a decision and we don't have to figure out where the money is going to come from, because as a council, we will tell you, okay, so this is how we're going to approach it because we've had a couple of bites at the apple. So I think we can.
I will send it before we come asking for the funds, so you have some time to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Council President Kylie.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Caldwell, and thank you very much, Majority Whip Hunt, because I think that is sort of highlighted some of the places that we wanted to go. And as far as the process, acting Director Galarza, one of the things that I think as a council we tried to do, and we've had several meetings where we're trying to explain that, so I just want to make sure that we have that going across the board for the department heads too, and I really appreciate the mayor's office, all of the department heads and the employees for your patience as we make sure that this is clarified. And I've already said that, but my deepest gratitude to the council members for that as well. I want to just clarify, as this discussion is going, that one of the ways that in order to get something submitted to council so that we make sure that that can be shared out at the same time as these items, and that council members have that ahead of time and or for that information. The way that that comes into council is to send it to Rose Lyon and CC the council leadership and the committee chairs that it is for. So that then we ensure it gets disseminated to everybody and we know the documentation is out there. And so I'm giving this direction not specifically to you, Director Galarza, but I want to also make sure that this is on the record and clear. We have some great minutes coming out, and I just want to make sure that it's clarified because that has not been.
Your mic just went off.
Thank you. Sorry for that last part. That has not been clear as it has, there has been confusion with that. So I'm just doing my due diligence and making sure that that is clarified at the time. And so the second piece of that, that I would just also ask when we are coming to clarify for the department as we are asking at the whole council level, and is that we have a breakdown, because as you say, with the retro pay, there's a regular salaries part that we have to fix, and then there's the Seamers part, and then there's
Is this at 735 already present in this number? We don't know, right? He said it-
Yeah, those two issues.
But when did he move it?
Will be presented to council.
Today, it should be in there.
I just want to make sure that that was correct, there are those three parts.
Yes.
Finance.
Okay, and so if we, when you do present that to us, if you could give us the breakdown, so we have that
So they
total
were saying
cost.
moving it from.
And then if
T.
you heard,
Are they
Vice Chair Caldwell,
moving it from this one?
explaining or asking for And I would just also like to ask for the
So over here,
full council when that
they
comes.
said that's what they
If
took
we
then,
could
put it here.
also
Right, so you
have
can't
a
use this.
breakdown
Yeah, so
of
it should be.
It should
the
be.
request coming
Because this was, I
from the
printed
other
this,
department.
but this is as
We
of
have to see
2/3.
it from
This is as of today.
contingency. They're willing to do that, but let us
Yeah, because
know
it's,
why the other lines are
yeah,
unavailable. If
it
that
should
is
be.
So thank you for that. I see that there are other hands up and I don't want to hold up the committee any further in their deliberations. Thank you very much.
Chairman Austin.
We had Captain Diaz online. Is he anywhere? I just wanted him to speak to this before we actually went ahead and vote on
Attendees.
it. He must know.
I mean, he did tell us, he's like, it needs to get paid.
Yeah, well, look, it's negative.
That's for sure.
This is what he was concerned
Yes.
about, is that this is going negative. Okay. Any other questions from anyone on the council, on the committee? On item number 2. Any other questions, comments, concerns, input? Nothing? We're good? All right, so I guess we'll call for the vote. So all in favor to, all we did was basically untable this. You guys know that, right?
It's the same motion that it was before.
Okay.
To accept this $400,000 transfer.
All right, so is there a motion? So we're gonna vote to accept this transfer from, because it doesn't say where it's coming from, but. Yeah. From the OT account, right, the PD OT account. Okay. All right, so is there, all in favor for approving this transfer for fiscal year 26 fiscal year budget, police department, $400,000 to the PD OT account? Because right now it's currently in a negative.
Aye.
Aye. Everyone online, you guys are good? Any abstentions? Any nays, noes? Okay, so it's unanimous, it passes. We're moving it somewhere. All right, so the next thing, item number 3, is the order authorizing the interdepartmental transfer 2025-26 fiscal year budget for the fire department, $490,000.
So moved.
A second?
Second?
All right, so let's go ahead and open this for discussion. Do we have any information on this? Where is it coming from and why? I mean, I see the little printout here from the police. I see a printout from the public works folks, but I don't see anything from the fire. Did the fire give us anything? Like any kind of backup explaining out of their munis report or no?
If the chief is not on that, I'll be more than happy to address that transfer.
Yeah, we didn't get anything from the fire department on where it's coming from and why and where's it going?
I can help you for the second time. I told the chief, we were comfortable taking it out of the salary line. So we'll take it out of our regular payroll account, House Cost 12501-0110. We'll take her back out of there, to have some savings. The chief has a couple of vacancies, like help the project to backfill the assistant fire chief who's vacant. And she has a couple of promotions that she would like to do. So I think we can accommodate all of that within our operating budget. So, under the direction of the legislative council, we're more than happy to have it come out of regular salaries.
So this is a transfer from substrate to regular salaries?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it is? Okay.
We were just receiving the amount that the department
Yeah, I believe you sent the memo down originally with some information and, Councilman, Austin sent it back for, a tighter analysis and I think that, we're comfortable with that request and, that should be fine.
Okay, so this was, it's not listed here, it's kind of looking like it's a regular
I know,
item.
I apologize for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not asking questions, I'm sharing information. So on these leadership intake forms, there's one for this specifically, and Chief Carter actually answered these questions, and they're all outlined, so like it tells you what account
Right.
coming out and everything, just so in case anyone wants to look over it, it's in there.
Okay, awesome.
We'll figure out that information has been sent around now, it's, that's new, it's a new process, so, we'll try, we send a memo to the mayor and then we'll do the transfer and we'll go forward, so we'll, understanding that that's part of the process, we'll continue to, try to provide you more information on those information requests, so they come forward and, try to get them, ahead of time, so you guys can have an opportunity to read and understand and ask questions prior to the meeting.
Okay, my only question I have with regard, I mean, you probably can't answer it, Deputy Director, is wwhy do we have so many vacancies in the fire department? I do get complaints a lot from. That's not something you can, I know you can't answer because you're not in that department. Can we move over, yeah, if we could move over, if you can invite, Chief Carter, maybe she can tell us why we have so many vacancies that we have to spend money for overtime to cover them.
Okay, great, thank you.
That'd be really awesome. Can you guys move her over? I don't know how you do that.
Shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
They're short. There's a lot of people don't take overtime. So the guys that do take overtime, they fall into the RCO role where they get time, basically time and a quarter, time and a half, depending. So there's an issue there.
Yeah. Is she there? Can we move her over? All right, cool. Thank you. I mean, that's an issue, is like just the second paragraph here says, we also have had to use senior officers to serve in acting roles, acting battalion chiefs, for example, due to vacancies, training, and operational needs. The wage difference for those acting assignments is governed by Article 11, acting officers. So while regular salaries may temporarily show availability because positions are vacant, the operational reality is that we must staff the shifts and fill critical supervisory roles every day. All right. All right, Chief Carter, you can go ahead and unmute, and if you can answer that question as what are your concerns with the vacancies in your department, like, the acting battalion chief and all these things, and what is the plan of action to get those staffed?
Okay, good evening, and thank you so much, Councilwoman Caldwell and everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this. It is what's happening right now is we're getting ready to start the process of hiring and filling those positions. There were multiple retirements, a little bit to our surprise. There was a few retirements. We also had a few folks that have been out on injury leave and sick leave for extended period of time. And we have currently two firefighters who are on extended military leave. And so the vacancies have just been kind of piling up, if you will. But we are in the process of moving the hiring process forward now. So from what I understand, I know that HR is working on the assistant chief position. Currently, we have the battalion chief. We're going to start on February 23rd. We have the hydrant maintainer. We're working on setting up those interviews. So, and then we also have, once we fill those, we'll start working on the lieutenant. I mean, so we have a bunch in process. Early stages of process, but they should be filled by the next fiscal year is my hope, if not.
That was my question. I wanted to know what you have in the pipeline and how close, where's the pipeline, your time frame in getting to 100% staffing?
Ooh, 100% staffing. Actually, we're doing pretty good. We have 3 firefighters currently in recruit school, which is wonderful, which leaves us 1 vacancy of a firefighter paramedic. And then again, with the assistant chief, that hopefully will happen by no later than mid-April. The battalion chief, probably around the same time as well. And then, the hydrant maintainer, we're looking at the next couple of weeks. So, I mean, things are moving, I would say March, April.
Okay.
But again, between injuries and the sick leave and stuff, we have no control over that. But the vacancies are doing really well.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to hear. Because I'm concerned that we have, other staff doing like double duty. I think that would be, really a challenge if they're,
It's a huge challenge.
that they're operating, and they're not getting the proper rest and they have that real emergency. It seems like it would be kind of, a little dangerous for them, if they have to, cover so many different spots and things. So,
Yes, yeah. So we do manage their amount of time that they can work. But, we have to have minimum staffing and minimum coverage of the department.
Okay.
But we are making sure that we manage how often folks can work. If
Okay.
you will.
All right, great.
But the other part to that, in the acting up position, is that we have to make sure that we have a succession plan in place. So even if we have, let's say captains out on injury or sick, we have to fill those positions. We use lieutenants to move up into the captain role just for maybe 1 shift. And it also gives them an opportunity to learn the position because that's where they're headed. So it's basically training. Unfortunately, it's because someone is out, but we need to make sure that we prepare our firefighters for the next role.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Does anyone have any other questions? I think Councilwoman Tedosio has some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll pull it closer. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief Carter. Does anyone have any other questions for Chief Carter? None? Thank you so much for your write-up. It was very helpful. Gave us a lot of information. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. So since that was an informational item, then we'll just move on to number 4. Same informational item, okay? And again, I think that number 4 was the order authorizing the interdepartmental transfer 24-25 fiscal year budget, Public Works, $106,151. I think, did anybody have any questions on that? I think it was kind of clear. He's dealing with overtime, that department with the overtime for the snow. And there's more coming.
He was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
Sorry, he was, Director Polito was just supposed to come back and, again, say if he had any ability to absorb some of this from his current salary. And is he online, or did you speak to Mr. Glass?
Yeah, Joey did, he spoke to me, and
he's on if you guys want to move him over.
One of those departments. I mean, he normally would go to salaries. I mean, past practice has been that's not a problem until we get anymore. But he's one of the departments that has multiple unions in his department that absorb the union payout. So at this point in time, he can't. I mean, he'd like to, request $100,000 the way it is. He also is going to supply, and we know it's going to snow again, right, this weekend kind of a thing. And, he's going to come back, he does provide monthly information to the council, and, it's like he indicated, that, with the retirement and things like that, if that were to occur, he's more than willing to hold a salary as a first person. So as of right now, just to get things in place, we would recommend, with our good faith effort to the legislative council, that we will look at salaries across the board. We also have some other challenges, that we have to address. But as far as he's concerned, he wanted to do that, and but these retro payments are sort of holding him back from that. He did talk about the coat as an option at the last meeting, but those are still just a pair.
I see him. Yeah, he was good.
Wasn't really sure that we had allocated enough based on all the storms that we have. So, we would like it to come from there. If there's an opportunity in the future to hit salary lines, we'll be more than willing to do that at that time.
Awesome. Director Colello, I see you are on. If you want to unmute, you can also give your, give some information as well. Yeah, there you are. How are you?
Yeah, I would definitely echo what you said. He's completely correct in everything he said. We can revisit this whole line item later on, but right now, we feel comfortable doing it this way with your approval.
Mm-hmm. So were you able to find any other line items that you can pull some of this overtime from?
Not currently, other than the totes. I hope that you all received your year-to-date.
Yep, we sure did. Let's see. Yes, we all have it in front of us. The only thing I can see are the coursing, the totes, which I know that makes everybody upset when we say that, but that's seems to be one of the smaller items that has not been hit hugely in the first half of the year. Which is, I guess, item 11301-001-3953.
Right.
And the other one is, I don't know what you guys are doing with hazardous waste. I see that, we haven't spent anything on that. I'm sure that's going to eventually come back to be a bill at some point.
That's an annual payment.
Right.
That should be right around where it is or more. It depends on how many people use it from him.
Yep. It does say that, you have only about 2 million, well, this is as of January, as of February 20th, you have 2.9 million available to get you through to the end of the year in general for your whole department.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's, so there's nothing else we can take anywhere from this 106, 151. There's nowhere else you can find anything else in here that you're not going to use?
Not yet. So we're going to be coming back to you for more snow overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And we have one in the pipeline right now for about $45,000. And depending with the snow gods throw us this weekend, we may be coming for more. At that time, if you guys would like to revisit the totes a bit. And that's about it. I wouldn't touch anything else because our main things were our infrastructure and buildings, and we're pretty low on that. I think we have 20,000 in that ish. So we're going to be coming for more money for the building department. We had a lot of major hits with the air conditioning over the summer and with heat now over the winter, and also with our vehicle maintenance. You'll see a bit in there, and that's starting to deplete as we're going through the winter. So again, the only line item that we went over this a couple times is the 180. It's 188,901 right now in totes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch it today, but if you guys wanted to revisit that next couple times, I would say that's where we have to grab it. I'd be okay with that for now.
So what happens if you come in on your next transfer request and you can tell us what you feel about the totes line item at that point? Because I know you, like you said, you're going to have to probably come back because of the overtime for more.
Yeah. So here's the deal with the totes. We currently we have 877 totes of recycling. We have 205 green trash. The trash we go through more than double because it's every week and the recycles every other week. So we would like to put another order in to fill our containers. We have a bit of stock, not too much, especially we're concerned about with this year's winter. I think we're going to be delivering more than we have normally been delivering over the past few summers. So that's kind of my concern. I don't, if you guys are okay with using that money, and if we have a problem with not having enough totes and us coming back, because that's a big issue. If you have open totes, you start getting rats and raccoons and things like that, and you start making those.
You're coming.
Okay. Are you guys still there?
Yep, we're still here.
Yeah, something weird just happened here. Okay, but listen, whatever council would like to do, we'll make the best of it.
All right, thank you so much. Anyone have any other questions for Director Colello? No? Are you good? Okay. All right, well, thank you so much. Since this is an information item, we'll just move right on along to the fund number 5, which is the fund balance report, which I believe will come from Deputy Director Galarza. Thank you, Mr. Colello.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
You too. I didn't want to miss this. I forgot we to go to the You gotta hold it.
So when we try to instill this year something a little bit different, and it's still, a work in progress, from the finance department, all trying to inform and project and make estimates on things that we need on. What we're gonna discuss tonight is a little bit new now, it's outdated, because that's how many things we deal with in Hamden on a day-to-day. A lot of these issues that we had coming out of the fund balance were addressed, and won't be coming out of the fund balance. The next meeting, will be sort of the other things on this analysis and taken off of this analysis. So it's not that things are changing, things are changing and issues are being resolved. But most of the time, this is for things that are coming up that haven't been addressed yet. And I don't want to confuse. It's what we do on a daily basis is not easy, managing multi-years. I mean, the budget's $300 million. We're usually managing 3 years at a time. That's $1 billion. So we're trying to give our best estimate as to what we know, what we think is going to happen, where we're at, to help council make their executive decisions during the budget process. I think that's important. When things get audited and finalized, we use that. But until then, we project and we use our best estimate based on the point in time. So just quickly, I don't want to the mayor has stated this to the state, to the MFAC that we report to, watching the MFAC and what the mayor's statement and what other towns are doing. But this piece of information was attached. So not only do we give it to the legislative council, the administration, the residents, we also forward the same information to the citizens. So basically, what I want to I'll keep it very high level. I don't want to get into too granularity because, like I said, things are changing based on this evening's decisions. They haven't been approved by the whole body, but it's where we sort of at right now. I also had meetings with Councilman Austin on other things like our tax position and things like that. Hopefully he'll have if I hurry up, he'll have an opportunity to speak on tonight. So I want to give him some time on the floor because what he's done is really supportive to the finance department. So just high level, I really want to debate this, but we have the backup for all this information pretty much. As a quick picture, when I arrived in Hamden, our fund balance was negative $2 million. We grew it up to audited $36 million. It hasn't been this high in over 50 years. The audit that we're working on for fiscal year 23-24, unaudited, we're projecting around $9 million.
Can I cut you off real quick because I have Councilman Bob wants to he has a question. Go ahead.
Rick, here's what I want to know. It's in the fund balance, our income to date, our expenses to date, as of right now. That's all I want to know right now. I understand all the audit and everything else. How much is in the fund balance? How much are our expenses to date? How much have we taken in to date?
Okay. So the fund, when we talk about fund balance is an accounting measurement that tells you, hey, by the end of
I know that, Rick. How much money is in the fund balance today?
what we're projecting by the end of the year.
Rick, to date, as of January 31st, how much money is in the fund balance? That's all I want to know. I'm sorry, that's all I want to know.
If Councilman Austin wants to chime in on the fund balance calculation or your external auditor, that's fine. But our cash position, how much money we have in the bank for cash purposes, for spending purposes, is different than what we're projecting. So right now, we're gonna project $11,700,000 will be in the bank as of 6/30/26, based on what we know today. I'm comfortable saying that. I don't wanna, and I hear where you're coming from, so I'm comfortable saying that as of today, that's what we're projecting for 6/30.
But Rick, I understand projections.
Okay?
I understand it's a $300 million budget. I understand news.
Okay?
But every month, at the end of every month, there's a line item. And it has, in the income side, it has year-to-date, monthly, and year-to-date. Every single line item for income. Expenses, it has monthly expenses, year-to-date expenses. There's 2 columns. That's all I'm asking for, Rick. I understand projections. Projections can go haywire. I just want to know what we have right now. That's all I'm asking. If you can't give it to me, give it to me tomorrow, Monday.
No, I'm gonna give it to you right now. Give me 1 second. I will give you that right now.
Director Galarza, can you also share your screen so we can see what you're looking at?
I can provide the report for council. It's hard, I'm on my, laptop. But I will provide the exact number that I'm stating this evening, if you can have it.
If you could email it to us, that would be great, because then we can actually share our screen, because the public would love to know how you arrived at these numbers. I mean, that council would love it too, but the public would.
That's fine, understood. Understood. Give me 1 second.
Yes. Councilman Tedosio, Council Lady, go ahead.
So as we are starting the new process, I did receive these leadership intake forms tonight. I love them. I love documenting it. Maybe these questions that we have that Bob's asking for could be placed on one of these documents, and then you could fill out that document with maybe some screenshots or whatever and send that over out as a request. So that way we have it documented.
Sure, however you want to receive it is fine with me. So what's available right now, to Councilman Anthony's request, revenue over expense, the town has $49,842,785 available. That's revenue over expense.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again, please? Just a little louder.
$49,842,785. So we said $49 million available as of today. That's revenue over expense, okay?
Okay, Councilwoman Hunt has another question. She has a follow-up. Go ahead.
I just want to better understand, and thank you for that. That was very clear. I appreciate that. Can you just explain how, because the level of confidence was there for, 6/30/26, as far as your projection. Can you help us better understand how you arrived at that level of confidence? What are you looking at that is telling you that come 6/30/26, that what you are now saying today is rough, nearly 50 mil, will look more like 11, right? Can you help us better understand how you got there?
Yeah, so what I read off to Councilman Anthony is what we brought in. If you think about your own personal savings, what you have in the bank, as far as cash that's come in, minus your bills that you paid out, what you have left over. So let's say you make, just to give you an understanding, we get into the level of detail. If you make $1,000 a week, you have to pay $500 in bills this week. You have $500 left over for the what I read to Councilman Anthony is what I have right now, revenue over expense, that's your income statement difference. Now, I don't want to confuse you two, but the forecast, when I said we had 11.7 in the bank, what I'm saying is, and that's what I wanted to start with, so if I appreciate the opportunity, let me real quick, high level, we started with 36.5. I'm projecting we're gonna bring in 9.8 in fiscal year 23-24. We jump to the next year, we're at $46 million in the fund balance. Okay, we are reducing the fund balance by 18 million per legislative council transaction out of the.
I'm gonna stop you there. Can I stop you there? Can you tell me where the legislative council approved 18 million?
You don't have to stop me there because I was gonna state that.
Okay.
So if you're ready, let's begin then.
I'm ready.
So
Go ahead.
Okay, I just continue. The first drawdown from the fund balance for 24-25 was $7,880,652. That was approved by the legislative council for July 1st of 2024. That's 7.8. The next drawdown happened May 28th, 2025. The drawdown was $4,966,776 out of the fund balance. That was to cover the ADAC out of the pension, cover town seniors, once again, seniors, and cover the board seniors. The next drawdown that was approved by the legislative council was for, the next one was for $2,965,001. It was out of the fund balance for the Board of Ed capital projects. That was approved and signed on August 26, 2024. The next drawdown out of the fund, I don't think it's quick for the purposes of time, but I have provided this in writing to the council president, and let me just wrap this up. On July 29, 2025, the legislative council approved $400,000 to come out of the fund balance to cover, once again, cash out of the cash out line so we can pay retirees. Signed and approved by the legislative council president and the administration. My last and final transfer that was appropriated out of the fund balance, approved by the legislative council, was for utilities, the electricity account, for having insufficient funds, the street lighting account that had insignificant funds. Those are the drawdowns.
I'm sorry, what was that amount? I'm sorry, you said the last one. I didn't hear the amount.
I'm sorry, I'm just, for the sake of time. I have to be as long as you like. The last drawdown, Councilwoman Hunt, was $253,000 out of the fund balance to cover electricity and street lighting for fiscal year 24-25. So we move forward, and that will conclude 24-25. That's unaudited, all estimates. So now you have over $28 million in the bank. So let's discuss what happened.
Well, before you get to that, that breakdown you gave us was excellent. Thank you. It was very informative. Can you, just a sec, can we get that in writing?
I sent this to the council president.
She's gonna share it.
Okay, all right.
To make sure we had it for this week. Like I said, I don't.
She's gonna share it now.
I just heard we're going to get it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're gonna share it. We're gonna share the last report you sent to us.
I just want to, and I'm just going to say, as I start to share it, just those quick moments of, they're not quick moments, but those minutes, it was me looking for the document, and yes, after I did send it, and it wouldn't download on the hard drive, so then I had to get it in the OneDrive. So this piece in time was me looking for the document, and yes, now I have it. I am going to share that on the screen, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you were able, because last time you were trying to open it, I know it didn't open, so I'm glad that, we had IT here this week as well, looking at the technology, because I wasn't able to be heard last time, so, I'm glad Council President that finally we were able to open up the file. So moving along high level, because, I don't want to get into.
Can you make it bigger?
With the legislative council, but.
There you go.
Let's take the 28.
And scroll up to the top.
We projecting to have this year, for the budget process.
There you go.
We're utilizing, that was approved by the legislative council, $9 million as a one-time revenue use out of the budget. And we're also estimating, there's like a $7 million line item in the expenditure side, that's a townwide savings. That, the mayor, when he came on board, we sat down a couple of times. We're beginning to chip at that number. He put some controls in place, whether it's hiring, he's looking at all vacancies. He's put a request on all purchase orders that, for a specific amount he's doing.
So, Director Galarza, I got hands. So you said you wanted Chairman Austin to speak, so he's up next. Go ahead.
No, thank you.
I think that as we go through this, the way that this is put together, and Director Galarza, you should lead with this, is that these expenditures that he's showing us, he's put them up here to say that we don't have any revenue to offset these. That's why there's going to be an impact to our fund balance. So as you go through each one of these, they're included in our operating budget for the year, but technically we don't have an offsetting revenue that's going to match these items.
Yes, so that's what we need to know.
Okay, so I have a question then. I have a question for Deputy Galarza. So you have here fiscal year 25-26 fund balance, fiscal year 25-26 approved by the Legislative Council, a negative $9 million. Why would that come from the fund balance? Because the reason why I want to know why is because the closing, according to what your report is over there on Munis, the report as of the year end of 2025, June 30th, it says that you had available $9,668,948.12. So is this report saying?
Okay.
So then why would we take $9 million from the fund balance?
All right, so hold on. Let me I get the first question, you can hit me up with the next one, and the one after that, totally okay. So, when you put a budget together, okay, and you keep this in mind as we go through, and I'm not trying to find you.
But I just need to know why you are deducting $9 million from the fund balance when we have $9 million, which is what we projected as a council coming out of 2025. We have $9 million, it says it right here, in available budget as of the close of the year, $9,668,948. So I'm curious as to why your report continues to say, in order to close up the fiscal 25-26 budget, we're taking $9 million. I think the original plan was to transfer this budget surplus from 25 to 26 to close the 25-26 gap. But you're saying the 26 gap is going to be closed by pulling from the fund balance. Is that correct?
I'm not elaborating on intent. What I'm stating is that when the adopted budget, 7 months ago was built, okay, the legislative council, because I'm not at all, approved, and I have it in writing, it states
we didn't approve it.
Will come from the revenue side to support the expenses, like Councilman Austin said, okay, for the budget. If you look at the budget.
That document doesn't exist. I'm going to go ahead and call Councilman Teodosia. Go ahead.
You can make a statement publicly. If you do that, I have to make mine. So if
you have to show me the document. The document doesn't exist.
I understand your statement, but you're saying what I have up here is not based on facts and actual documentation. Everything that you're looking at is supported with documentation.
Well, you have to provide it because we can't find it. It's not available to the public.
I was called and I just want to clarify something. So I I'm speaking right now, I am obviously speaking to you, Mr. Galarza, but I'm actually speaking to the audience watching. We have a lot of people that have been waiting for answers about this. And the reason I'm just gonna reframe what Councilor Caldwell said in a different way, in my understanding, because I am obviously more of a layperson, right? Like, I'm not a big finance guru. And I wanna know, when I'm done telling you, like, kind of, if I'm wrong about anything, if you can just direct me. So, the $9 million last year, what was voted on, and I did confirm and look at the order, so I read the language, I have access to it. The council, so President Kiley went around, talked to all the department heads, and said, based on what it looks like you've spent, she did a huge analysis and actually confirmed multiple times with every department head that you did not, it's an accumulation of $9 million. And what we said was, yeah, if we stop spending now, absolutely, we are going to have $9 million in savings. And so that was something that the council voted and said, okay, we're gonna trust that analysis. And because that $9 million will be available, what we're gonna vote on is to put most of that, $7 million, into this next budget that we're currently in now. So we're basically taking money from last year that we saved, rolling it over into this year. And then we had a $2 million contingency that we weren't like, you can spend it, however, we have to approve how you spend that, like in lay people's terms, okay? So that happened. From what you're saying, it sounds like what you're saying is that even though the council voted to do that, you don't really agree that we had that $9 million to cut. You believe that we actually did need to spend it. And I would say that that could be a fair argument if that's the case, if you do have knowledge that we've spent more money or we plan to spend more money. Where I have the only hiccup with that for me is that because the council didn't actually approve you to take that money out of our savings, like additionally, like, I guess it's like the framing, right? The framing is making it seem like we're at a certain level and now we're deducting money from our existing budget to make up a shortfall. But what is really happening is we took money from last year and added it to this year. We're not taking it away from where we were starting this year. And when Councilman Caldwell looked and found on our own site today on units that we actually ended the year at $9.8 million in there, that tells us that actually Council President Kiley was right. We didn't spend that money. The department heads are right. We didn't spend that money. So what we're saying to you is, if the numbers that you're sharing tell us that we didn't spend that money, if the council authorized a certain amount of transfer because we knew we weren't going to spend that money, you're essentially saying that we need to spend that money this year. So I guess what I'm asking is, why? You can answer.
I mean, I would just love to see the order.
The question is, everything I just said, all of the paperwork that we have, all of the documents you've provided, all of the things we've authorized suggest that we ended with $9 million in savings. We approved it to use this year. We are in fact likely going to use it this year, I'm assuming. But the way you're writing this analysis is as if we're starting at a certain level, and we're not using last year's savings. We're taking $9 million that we don't have out of this and like going into like using that money in that way. But what we're saying is, no, this is like birthday money we got last year. We're using it this year to pay for our party for this year. So it's like the framing of it makes it seem like we're kind of like worse off than we might be. I'm not saying we're not worse off, let's be very clear. But what I'm saying is if you agree with that, and you know that there's things coming down the pipe that are gonna put us over the edge, that's not clear to us. And I'm asking you, what are those things that are coming up that are gonna result in an additional $9 million we can use on top of the $7 million we gave you from last year's birthday money? Because that's what you're saying. You're actually, this is actually more than $9 million. If we gave you money last year, $7 million, plus let's say the $2 million contingency we used. If we said, hey, from last year, now you have $9 million to use this year, And now you're writing on this paper that you're deducting it, that's $18 million. So what is going against that as an expense? And as a clarification for everyone, we did not approve you to take $9 million. So you gotta tell us why you need it.
Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah, I would love.
I would love that.
So, we have a appropriation ordinance signed from the council president when we concluded last year's budget. You can refer to the legal department to get a copy of that.
I already have a copy.
A copy of it, it's a public.
I have a
document.
copy of it.
No, I want to stop
right
this
here.
because this is what's really frustrating. I feel as though you are like trying to gaslight the council in some way, but what I'm telling you is, we have all the documentation, I've read it with my eyeballs, I am not a moron, so I understand what it says. And what I'm asking you, are you saying that we need $19 million or $18 million, or are you saying that we need $9 million? Yes or no, 9 or 18, that's it.
And what do we need $9 million for? Okay.
When you built your budget, okay, your budget came in at 304. It was really 311, and we have a negative amount in the budget of 7 million. So your budget came in at 304. Your real revenue coming into the town, okay? Your real revenue at that point in time, when the budget was approved, okay, was.
It's not answering. It's not an answer.
Your real revenue, money coming in, right, was 900 million. It was 295 million of real cash. But council approved the budget for 304 on the expense side.
And we used the money from last year, no. The money we spent last year, we used it for this year to fill that gap, is that not correct?
Let me ask you a question. If you end the year with a deficit, okay, what money from last year are you referring to?
We didn't end the year
We
with a
did-
deficit,
we-
and I know that because you told MDAC that we ended in a $10 million surplus.
And it's reflected on the report. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cut this because we're not gonna get any straight answers. And it's almost 8 o'clock.
You're not allowing me to
We're not gonna get any answers. Deputy Galarza, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. If you want to give us an update on the audit, you can go ahead and do that. We're not gonna get any answers from this question. Unless anybody else has anything else to say, I think we're done. Let's move on to the
No,
audit.
I'm so sorry, I will never do this again. I wanted to be clear for the public, because this is what matters to me. What is happening is that what is true is that the council approved to use savings from last year for this year to cover that money that we're talking about.
Sure.
We have done that. What the documents and what is being presented to us and to the state is that we need an additional $9 million to cover expenses. We aren't being told what those expenses are, and we did not approve anyone to do such a thing.
And if we did, show me
Correct.
where.
I am happy to be corrected, but Mr. Pilares is not able to really articulate what's going on.
Well, Mr. Delors is not here to speak, to correct and articulate your incorrect statements, so.
Go ahead. We're done with this conversation, I think. I see other hands. I see Chairman Alston. I see your hand. You can go ahead.
To clarify.
You have to turn your mic on and pull it close.
Mr. Galarza, excuse me. I'm looking at your projection, and it's the point that we're going back and forth on, and I won't belabor it. It's really the 6/30/2025 amount that you have here should include, for this to be correct, it should include a $9 million surplus.
Yes.
For 24, 25.
Yes. We have to add that in.
That number is not, no, it should already be in that number. Because that's what we're saying, we finished the year, that number should already be in the $27 million. The $9 million should be there for this to be correct. The format that it's in is saying that we balanced the budget with $9 million, which we voted on, that should be used for 25, 26. Is that correct, Mr. Lawyer? For the format that we're looking at, for that to be correct, the $9 million should be in the 27.
Okay, let me explain quickly. And this is why, you know, it's forecasts are complicated, but if you end up the year, at the end of fiscal year 23-24, you have $48 million in the bank. If you have a loss of $18 million in fiscal year 24-25, at the end, actually, that probably should say 6/30/25. At the end of 25.
We don't have a loss, because if it would be a loss, it would be on the report. It's not on the report.
$48 in your pocket.
There's no $18 million loss.
18 over than what you had on your revenue, right? You didn't have it. All those transactions that I read came out of the fund balance. All those expenses had no supporting revenue, right? So if you have a checking account and you buy stuff, if you overspend out of your checking account, it will come out of your savings account, and that's what it did. So 46 minus 46 minus 18 leaves you in the bank $28 million. So that's what we're starting the year with for the beginning of July 1 of 2025. We had $28 million. Now when the audit comes out, and I pray it comes out quick.
Yeah, now we want it quick.
More than I do right now. When the audit comes out,
Lord
you
help
will
me.
see figures in the audit. However, if you don't have the audit, I am forecasting. Now, when you have $28 million in the bank, and you approve the budget for $9 million, your $9 million is coming off for 28. The $7 million that's a townwide savings, if not realized, will come out of your fund balance. The traffic cameras that we thought was going to be coming in real cash is not going to be coming in. That's a loss to the town. $600,000 that we requested and police overtime and fire.
He says that he needs $9 million, but the cash surplus is there.
Like I stated previously, we changed that account.
You should show the surpluses, because you're reporting the surpluses. Show them, show the 24 surplus and the 25, and then offset. Stop it, don't. I can't, we're gonna have to be separated.
And at the time,
Serious. I'm gonna have to go sit over there.
Like you see, of expenses that we don't have the revenue for, or revenue loss.
That's some funny math.
If you have a balanced budget and the revenue does not come in, to balance your budget, you have to take out of the fund balance, or you have to make cuts to offset the loss of revenue. So that, I told Councilman Anthony that at the end of 6/30, based on what we knew at a specific time, we had $11.7 million in the budget. Now, was it changed? Yes, it was changed. Monday night, this is the outrageous. There's gonna be other things on here that are not on here, okay? So all this is estimates based on what we think is going to occur. We can have high snowstorms that there's no money for, that are not on this sheet, but if it does snow, we will put it on this sheet as an identifier that we're gonna come back to council, and we're gonna ask for those funding to cover that expense. Now, I have legally and with the legal opinion what I received from the legislative council. That's not, I'm not gonna debate that. That you can deal with the law officers. Okay?
I see Councilwoman Gallagher's hand, so I don't want to disrespect her.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. So, to answer your question, what we received from the built this budget came from the legislative council, signed, timestamped by email, and reviewed by the legislative council's attorney, to our attorney. I was given that, and that's what I built. So, the intent, the discussion, the assumption, I have nothing to do with that. I'm not saying anyone's lying, not lying, I don't know. I wasn't at the table, it's not my process. I just take whatever I receive out of the law office that's approved, and I enter that into the system. And that's
All right, thank you, Director Blas. Yeah, I appreciate that. You are extending though. I just want to say again, you built this to highlight major items and not everything. And I understand it to be that way. It's just, we're highlighting major items that we're gonna impact. Where we at, hold on, Director Clark. If we are to believe this, and we take this for face value, whatever it is, every one of these items that you have as an expenditure that we're going to incur this year, you have support for as of this moment.
Well, if you look, yeah.
No.
That's it, that's all I want to know. These items that you have right here, you have support for right now.
You have half of them in front of you.
Yep.
The camera, I've indicated, are not coming in. What's in the budget is approved by the legislative council. And the 5 million, if we can go off the bond this fiscal year, upon the audit being completed, you would see that. So, yes, everything there, half of that list you have in front of you this year. More than half, I think 80% of that list you have. The camera, you don't have, but I can't give you that. But it's an indication that that revenue is not coming in. And if we haven't gone out to bond to handle the cash, so I think, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 items in front of you, and you have full backup for 6 of those items. And the reason why you don't have the revenue is because we're saying that cash is not coming in. And the last item, we haven't gone out to bond for. So I think you have the whole list in front of you.
All right, Director. My point was is that the validity of what you have here, you have support to believe this. The council can accept this and interrogate it. We have 15 people up here to do that, and we can continue to do that. But this is going to change based off of your next proposal, your next proposed projection. When is that going to be?
So, based on what occurs Monday night, okay, if you look at 4 those items, the tax outs were approved, police was approved to go forward. Fire originally had a request of $1 million, but we approved half of that. And the pension contribution, we met with the pension actuarial today from Siegel, and at a minimum, he's recommending $1 million. Last year, we went up 1.3. So he did agree with the mayor's meeting that we are going to experience that $1 million. It hasn't happened yet, but he is recommending he validated the forecast, because we showed him that. And he'd be more than happy to put something in writing for the legislative council, not a problem. Depending on Monday night's meeting, okay, this will be adjusted. Now keep in mind, the 1.2 that we've informed council verbally on this evening is not on that forecast. That's gonna have to be addressed. So more than likely, we will add that 1.2 of overrun on this schedule, where we will remove some of these items if they're funded out of a different revenue account, or a different expense account, that will be removed. However, the 9 million will stay on, the 7 million will stay on, the camera will stay on to the end of the fiscal year, pretty much. The cash out, we were addressing in a different manner. So the overtime will come off as well. Fire will come off, at least half will come off, because the chief did indicate she probably will be coming back. and she wouldn't have enough payroll savings for the next request. Okay, the pension has not been received yet by our actuarial, so that will stay on, and I haven't gone out to bond yet, so that's gonna stay on. So we're gonna replace $1 million, maybe $2 million. We're gonna replace $1.5 million, and I'm gonna add back $1.2 million to this list. So you're gonna pretty much be in the same neighborhood, plus or minus.
All right,
All right.
that's my question.
Councilman Gallagher.
Great, thanks so much, and thank you, Director Galarza, for this. I think that last round really, I think, helped explain some of the movement that's happening. My question, I understand the council approved the 9 million, and we knew at the time that, it has to go through fund balance, and it was going to be a draw from fund balance. It all makes sense to me. My question is around that surplus amount, and I wasn't clear from Councilman Paulson's question. So it's my question. Is that 9 million, I know it's unaudited, is that already included in the 18, or is there a potential that we'll be adding another 9 into the fund balance? So I wasn't clear where that 9 in surplus landed.
Yeah, where did that land? Where did that land?
That's fine, I can,
That was the only, that was the only.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I understand that, so.
Thank you for that.
I'll be quick. If we take the 36 and we add 9 for that year, for that fiscal year, we generated a surplus of 9.8, no problem. That puts $46 million in your bank account. You have $46 million now, the town, okay? It's unaudited, I'm comfortable with that number. I can't really speak for the external auditor. We had a meeting with Councilman Austin, but I'm comfortable with that number plus or minus. Now, there's no guarantee it's unaudited. It's giving you a glimpse of what's to come. So we're happy with it. That brings you to $46 million in the budget. Now, if you take what occurred, what the negative accounts that we had to take out, right? Revenue did not cover these items. Okay. That's $18 million that are things that were approved by the legislative council without revenue cash coming into the town.
Correct.
So if you don't have cash in your checking account to pay for something, it will default. If you have a savings account, it will default to your savings account. So out of your savings, which we call our fund balance, undesignated fund balance, rainy day fund, we took $18 million out. That would leave you with 27.9, let's say 28 million. So we started this fiscal year, July 1st, with $28 million in the bank.
All right, so I'm just, so you already added in that 9 million, I'm sorry to interrupt, I see that you already added in that 9 million of surplus that we talked about earlier in your calculations.
Yes, it is.
That's my question. Okay.
Yeah, 36 million four plus 9.8 gives you a beginning balance of 42.6. 46,257,954 is what we technically had in the bank.
Okay.
At the beginning of fiscal year, July 1st, 2024. Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect. All of the deductions make sense to me. I know we have to approve them. I know that makes sense. I just wanted to understand how that 9 million that we were talking about came into that.
Yeah.
And how it all has to run through the, and I thought of this as a point too, that when we made that transfer, like, it has to flow through the fund balance because there's no financial mechanism to transfer money from one year to the next. So it has to drop to the fund balance and then come back out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it wasn't a transfer, it was part of the, it drops down, so everything drops down, good or bad, it drops down, right?
Yep.
Good, we do. If the loss drops down, we take it, right?
Okay.
When that drops, okay, anything that drops, you can repurpose that money for the ensuing fiscal year. So when, if that 27 number was not there, like in the past year, we could not technically allocate that 9 million out of the fund balance. I have to validate that that revenue is there in the chart. I have to validate all expense and validate revenue. So me saying, hey, look, I have $28 million in the bank, the council approved 9, not a problem. So that's why you see that there. Okay, it wasn't a transfer, that it was part of the appropriation, that the budget, when you approve your budget in June, that is a appropriation budget, supplemental, it's appropriation budget, it's your town's budget. In your town's budget, you said, hey, look, I have expenses of $295, I have revenue of $295. The town, for all of its line items, needs to spend $304. How do I close that? We said, let's go to fund balance for the 9 and pass, because technically the legislative comes out to pass a balanced budget. That's how we balance the budget for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Thank you for answering that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you all set, Councilman Gill? All right, thank you. I just have one other question. To piggyback on Councilwoman Gallagher's question about the $9,668,000 cash surplus that was realized in the budget from year end June 30, 2025, there was $12,463,220 realized in surplus that you reported in budget surplus on the end of 24. Where did that land? Is that recognized in your statement as well? It's on your report on the website. The munis report for June 30th, 2024 says $12,463,220 was the budget surplus at the end of fiscal year 2024. So if you take that $12,463,220 and the $9,668,000, where do those two surplus land in your, is that a part of your $46 million number?
I have to take a look at what you're looking at, but, you have to understand that fiscal year 23-24 went through the audit process. So there's a lot of changes and adjustments and reconciliations done during the audit process.
That's the one that's being audited now, 23. I'm talking to the fiscal year in 24. Yeah, that's the one being audited now.
If anyone knows who's being audited now with me, I appreciate the clarification. Fiscal year 23-24 is the one that's being audited now. So we are saying at the end of that
$12 million that was surplus as of the end of 24. Where did these two surpluses go?
$9.8 million.
That's what I was just
If you start with 36.4 and add 9.8, you end up with 40.
Perhaps we didn't have all of the surplus.
That's what we're saying.
Because
that's what we're estimating. That's what I'm saying.
This is fiscal year 20.
When the audit comes out,
year 25 surplus. This is the budget variance. Positive at the end of this year.
I think yours might be a little bit different.
22 million, about 22. But those are, so I want to know if that's included in that 46 million.
These are estimates, written all over there, they're all subject to change. None of this information, you just saw us tonight, that we changed a whole lot of things current year, which is good. However,
Because he's talking about whatever goes in has to drop down.
so if you pull this piece of paper today, tomorrow, if you pull this piece of paper tonight, and you want to refer to this piece of paper, the fund balance analysis, it's going to be updated because of all the things that we're doing Monday night. So it's a point in time. The only thing that will satisfy myself and the mayor's office and the legislative council is the audit. So like I said, when the audit for 23-24 comes out, we will have a new beginning. And we can build off of that base. The 22-20 audit is done, it's signed off on. That number is a solid number. The rest of the numbers on the sheet of paper are subject to change.
There's not that much left.
It's a forecast. It's an information of where the town's gonna be to help the mayor make managerial decisions, to help the legislative council make legislative decisions, and help the finance department work with these departments to manage their operating budget.
But I recognize that you included, in 2024, you gave us a list of all the things that came from the fund balance of 7.880, 4.966, 2965, and 400,000 for the cash outs for 24. So that would have been the money that would have been, the cash available for that would have been what fell into the fund balance on fiscal year 24 of the 12,463,000. So we probably would have been short.
What I read to you that Councilwoman Hunt asked you to break down was money that the legislative council approved to spend that had no revenue associated with all of those transactions. So when there's an expense that doesn't have a revenue to offset the expense, okay, it comes out of the fund balance. Think of your own checking. If you have nothing in your checking and you go buy something, the purchase still may go through because if your checking account usually gets linked to your savings account, it pulls out of your savings account into your checking account to validate your expense.
Councilwoman Teodosio, go ahead.
I'm asking if Council President Kylie can just share her screen so we can go over something. It says it started. Okay, we can see it. I want to just address something you said earlier because it's been a few questions since my last thought. I am looking at the document and I want everyone to be able to look at the document as we talk through this. You're mentioning the red light camera revenue. I completely agree, terrible to put in the budget, right? I agree that that's going to be a problem, right? Employee cash out, overtime, pension contributions. I don't have an issue with any of those line items. I'm not arguing with you about them. I think we're going to have to pay them. I believe you. And Councilwoman Gallagher said something earlier, and I don't want to make an issue out of it, but I think there may be some misunderstandings on our council, and I want to clarify just so we can look at this together. If we go from the top, full year 23-24, we're at $46 million in change. We all seem to agree on that number. We took $5 million out for capital expenses, which we get back later. We have $13 million for closeout. Don't know what that's for, but that's a totally different conversation. Fine. So that reduction is $18 million. We're just accepting that because we don't have any documentation showing us why we're taking $13 million out. Fine. So end of 2025 fiscal year, we're at 28 million about. All your other expenses make sense. You're suggesting that you think we need $7 million. That's a projection. That's fine. But then we see this fund balance deduction. It is listed here as, well, let me say this, on the sheet, it is listed as a deduction. It's in red. I want everyone to see that. And that number, that 9 million, is considered in that total that you see where it says 6/30/2026 fund balance reduction, and we end at 16.2499999.
9.8, it was actually 12.
Right? So what you're saying is that we are taking $9 million from the fund balance to cover expenses. I don't think you would disagree with that statement, because that's what you're saying. What I'm saying is that's not true, because what the council approved is that we were going to use $9 million between 7 million being actually transferred over and 2 million in contingency, but let's just call it $9 million so it's really easy for everybody to understand. You said, we said you could use this $9 million. So if we were doing that, that would be listed not as a deduction, right? It's money coming in. So why isn't it in black? Why is it in red? That's my question.
Would you like me to answer that now?
Well, yeah, I asked you, so I'd love you to answer it.
The reason why it's in red is because is drawing down from the fund balance. If it isn't black,
So he said whatever
it's money coming
into the
in,
fund balance has to be
being
So we
But
can.
that's why
Okay, I
to
don't,
make sure
actually,
that
I
the
think we
surplus that
actually
is
aren't
generated is the
disagreeing, but let me tell you why it's confusing, because I am interrupting you because you do say a lot, and I, why I say a lot, because people say a lot, let me just finish this.
We're not an audit.
So, what you're
So I don't know
saying
why
is,
he doesn't look
I
at
know that
what
this $9
actually
million
came
is
that
like,
they reported
yes,
on the
is
website.
it
should be
passing
identical.
through the fund balance?
So I
Yeah,
don't
right,
know.
because it was
So we have 2
savings, it dropped
years
into the
where
fund
we don't
balance,
know if that
that's
number
where it
is
lives.
included.
But it's
The
not like,
surplus, she's taking the
the way
deduct,
you're
not the
making it
surplus.
seem is like that wasn't an
Strange.
addition that we're getting infused into this year. You're not counting it on your budget sheet, like, in the right way. So it's making it seem like we're taking 9 million more. You're laughing, but I don't think anyone up here disagrees with me, other than maybe one council person. So either we're all completely morons, or there's something we're missing.
So you're not completely moron. This, you know, I try to make this, you know, as easy as possible to follow. But when the more, you know, I respectfully, I'm the one on the council, you know, so when, you gotta think of it like this, okay? You have $28 million, okay? Just park that on the side for a second. Okay? You wanna go buy something, okay? But you don't have enough money to pay for what you wanna buy. So that $9 million that you don't have to purchase what you wanna buy in your checking account.
Why are you saying we don't have it? We have it.
Hold on, hold on a second. I'll walk you through this, but you gotta let me, I mean, you can chime in respectfully, I get it, but you have it in the bank, okay? So think of it like this, the $28 million you have it in the bank, okay, no problem, we're not, hopefully we're all there, not a problem. I wanna go buy something for $9 million that I don't have in my checking account. Okay? I have to take it out of the bank, okay, and put it into my checking account so I can go purchase that good for $9 million. That's what this is telling you, that when we built the budget.
Okay, here's the thing, this is the one thing that I'm not getting. That's what, I'm so close, Fred, I think I'm almost there. That $28 million, right, you're saying that that is what we have in the fund balance at the end of June, right? And now you're saying, but that money that you're giving to us from last year, like, we have to take it and put it in the fund balance.
Okay, all right.
No,
Quick question, would it be helpful to show the influx of that 9 million from last year?
No, because Sarah, that's muddying the water. No, guys. Mr. Clark, I wanted to.
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna pause all discussion here, because I'm sorry, Director Galarza, I really appreciate, and I apologize profusely for cutting everyone off right now. But I do see that I heard, there's kind of, sorry, I saw that the two chairs were discussing, and I just wanted to make sure, since we had multiple council members talking, I wanted to make sure that we brought it back to the floor, so I'm just gonna bring it back, now that I see the chairs are done discussing, I'm gonna give it back over to the chair to then, disseminate and continue discussion, so respectfully, as the ex officio member, I'm just putting a pause on the discussion and handing it back over to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Councilwoman Tedosio, you still have the floor to finish with.
Thank you. I think what I just, okay. I'm gonna put it in this like idea. I get that we are giving you $9 million from this past year, and that has to go somewhere. I get it, right? But, okay, so let's start there.
So let's start with the 28 and forget anything else. Can we do that? Can we agree on that?
Yes, I'm agreeing with you, and also I don't mind if this is down, it's hard for me to focus.
Forget the past, forget the pass.
Okay, no. And also, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off for now, but if you can just talk a little louder because it's hard for me to hear in the room because there's other stuff going on and I actually really am trying to listen to you.
Well, I hope that's good, and it's rare that people ask me to raise my voice. So I will try. I mean, I'm as close to the laptop as I can.
No, it's okay, thank you. All right, so we can agree that we're starting that. You and I are agreeing that we are ending the year at a $28 million essentially fund balance,
So
2025.
let's stop there, right? Let's stop there, okay? You have no money, and all of a sudden I give you $28 million. You hit lotto. You hit lotto. You have $28 million in the bank. You hit lotto, okay? You want to go buy something, okay, for $9 million, okay? And you go to the store and you look at your checking account and you have no money. So you go buy a $9 million item, okay? Now,
Okay, well, you know, actually, I'm sorry, I'm having this ADD moment. I actually just realized we're disconnected. For me, what I'm saying is, if we're talking about what fell in the fund balance, right?
oh, we're not. You and I both agreed that you have.
But I'm actually not sure I agree that we ended at 28 million in this case then, right? Because if we're saying, sorry, I'm getting confused, sorry. If we're saying that $9 million at the end of 2025, at the end of 2025, we essentially had a $9 million, we're calling it a surplus, it's not, but like, then essentially we have that money to use, right? Wouldn't that number be reflected in that line item? Or is it? Are you saying it is? You're saying that 27 million includes the 9 million? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
All right, you and I both agree that you have $28 million in the bank. Forget how we got there, but you and I both agree on that. Is that clear?
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know. So I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 3 decades, for a lot more bigger, larger budgets in Hamden. And, you know, I don't want to get into my national recognition and concepts, but just follow with me for a second.
Okay, everyone please let's listen.
The deputy finance director says he has $28 million. Okay, he will sign it, he put it in writing, he'll do whatever is needed. That's my estimate, okay? That's my estimate. Remember, you're talking to the person who, when I arrived, we had negative $2 million in the bank. I put $46 million into the town, and it hasn't been done in over 50 years. So just for 1 second, just flow with, take what I say is valid, okay? And then after this meeting, proceed as you will, and we will as well, and I hope we can get to a common place. We'll do whatever it takes, our arms are extended, our doors are open, whatever it needs, we'll get it done.
I'm glad to hear your doors open, good to know.
Yeah, all the time. So at $28 million you have in the bank, you are gonna spend $9 million out of your savings to buy something. You have to reduce $9 million out of your $28 million. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because why? Because you don't have, or to do it this way, you may understand it this way. You have $28 million, and I come to you and I say, can I borrow 9? And you say, sure, Rick, I don't know you, but I'm gonna give you 9.
No, I totally get how subtraction works, so I get it. What I'm saying is that, this is the last statement I'll make, and then I will stop, because I know I'm driving everyone bananas. But what I'm saying is, if that 9 million was saving, we're gonna call it savings, right? We are giving it to you.
It doesn't matter, you have 28 in the bank.
Okay, great, we have 28, whatever. What I'm saying, on this sheet, that's being shared.
Yes.
Wouldn't that $9 million infusion, because it's what it is, into the next year, be listed as what?
When you use it comes out.
It does, you're right, it does come out. Rick, when we use, okay, let's look, a great example. Let's look at the $5 million. The $5 million came out and then it went back in, right? So wouldn't there be like a $9 million that we put in before it comes back out? That's what I'm saying.
You have $28 million that you put in. You already.
I'm good, thank you.
$28 million. Now you're taking out 9.
Director Gallarza, I tried to draw some clarity to this, and Councilwoman Gallagher actually said it again, she re-echoed it behind me. The $9 million of savings from that year should be, for this document to be correct in the format that it is in right now, that $9 million has to be included in the $28 million, okay? Exactly.
But where?
Mark, before you look at the 9,
Mr. Garza, I'm asking John.
Director Garza,
Sorry, Chairman also has really helped me understand, he's helping me understand, okay? So, from your perspective, are you reading this and understanding that Mr. Galarza is saying that the $28 million here, that technically that actually includes that 9 million?
Yes.
But it's just not listed there?
yes,
That's what's throwing me off.
okay,
Thank you for clarifying that.
all right. Director Galarza, I do have a question, and I'm gonna end it here, the discussion on this, hopefully. The Munis report for 23-24, for the year 23-24, and you can just take this for notes, I don't want you to try to look it up right now. And you can tell us as we go along. The way that I read the Munis report, in year end for 23-24, says that it had a $12.4 million surplus, available budget. Okay? On your projection for that year, you have 9.8. There may be a disconnect from us reading the Munis report this way and what you have in your projection, but I'm going to ask you to look into that. Not to try to explain it now, because I know it's just a question on the floor. If we look at the Munis report for fiscal year 23-24, it says 12.463 million. Okay? And I just want to make sure that this question is coming from Council Vice Chair Caldwell, that we just want to make sure we understand the difference between the 12.4 on the Munis form versus what you have in your proposal. Not your proposal, your projection, sorry. My mistake.
right,
Okay? And I know that you're going to update this. We'll get a new document like this and we'll be able to talk through it again. But that would be one of the items that we just have a question on, okay?
understood.
All right. Any other questions from the committee on this? All right, we're gonna move on to item number 6, which is the audit update on the 23-24 audit. I will give that. Our current auditor is in the process. Our current auditor is in the process of completing the audit. The audit has begun. We are statusing. We have the ability to status the exchange of information between the administration and our current auditor as a way of understanding the progression of what's occurred. And out of the exchange of data items, we'll start there to say that 53% of the data items requested by the auditor have been delivered and accepted. The next 29% of the data items have been delivered but have not been fully reviewed by the auditor. 15% of the items that have been delivered to the auditor have been reviewed and sent back to the administration for further follow-up. So that's in the return bucket. And there's a small amount of 3% of items that are outstanding. And I think that people will want to understand what those 3% equals. We're literally talking about 3 or 4 documents. So at this point, we're not worried that those 3 to 4% is outstanding. We spoke to the auditor about that, and he said he had more than enough to continue the audit and progress at this time. As for the next item, the timeline that we're working with, the audit is in process, but we're not able to give a concrete timeline. We think that at this point in time, the normal time frame would be 4 to 8 weeks. We're not projecting that we would extend less than that because of the circumstances. We're working with a new auditor, so we are being conservative, saying that we're probably going to be on the long end of any projection. But the good thing that we have is that we're able to see that the audit is actually in progress. Along with the items that have been accepted of 53%, the auditor has started to test, actually send back populations for testing. So, for anyone looking to understand how an audit actually occurs, we submit overall documentation to the auditor for their understanding, and then they pick samples from that documentation that we have to deliver additional information on. So we're in that process as of right now. We are moving forward, and it's a good, and we are further along the process than we've been in quite some time. So I think that is where we are for right now. We are statusing this pretty much every week, and we're going to continue to give a report out at the legislative council meeting. We're going to give a report out on this at the legislative council meeting and the finance committee meetings to make sure that the public has 2 opportunities to hear what's actually occurring. Okay. Any questions from the committee? Comments from the committee? Okay. If not, that is our agenda for tonight. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's been motion and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you for joining.